Hey, it's Randy from Funeral Funds of America. In this video, I'm going to share with you the actual pricing for $5,000 worth of burial, cremation, final expense, life insurance, or funeral funds for a 63-year-old male. Now, first thing I recommend is go directly to our website at funeralfunds.com. And we've got these free quoters on just about every page. And all you do is you just select the state that you live in. We are licensed in all 50 states, by the way. And then select the coverage amount and then put birthday and all that info in, click get quotes now. It will take you to a page that's going to show you the best insurance companies with the lowest pricing in your state. It will also help you avoid two things. It will help you avoid those plans that offer those ridiculously low teaser rates on TV and magazines and junk mail and stuff like that. And then when you actually call them up, it is such minuscule coverage that they try upselling you to a more profitable product for them. Don't do that. It'll also help you avoid those plans with 2-year waiting periods that don't pay any death benefit in the first 2 years if you die of any health or medical reason. And those policies are up to 200% more expensive. Yeah. Or you can call us at our toll-free number, 888-862-9456, and one of our agents can help you understand your pricing and options. Now, the first thing you should consider if you're a 63-year-old male looking at $5,000, should consider, is that an adequate amount of coverage for your final expense needs? And final expense needs would typically be cremation or a burial. Now, the average cost of a cremation right now in the United States is between $1,000 to $2,000. And that's if you come home in a cardboard box or an urn. Now, if you're going to have some sort of a celebration of life ceremony or remembrance ceremony or some sort of get together in addition to a cremation, that's probably going to be around $3,500 to $4,500. So, we would probably recommend $5,000 to $7,000 for that burial or that cremation, I should say, where you come home in a cardboard box or an urn. And you might be saying, well, why do you recommend $5,000 when it's only going to be $2,000? Well, yeah, it's going to be $2,000 right now, but you're 63. What happens if you make it to 73 and 83? We know things are going to be more expensive then. So we like to build in a little extra coverage just to cover the cost of inflation as prices go up over time. And then if you do pass away a little bit sooner, there may be a little bit extra money there to take care of some other final expenses, maybe medical bills or something like that. So if you're going to have that cremation with the ceremony, most people would be looking at between $7,000 to $10,000. And again, that inflation proofs the plan, but God forbid you die early, there's going to be a little extra money there left to help your family just with medical bills or whatever might pop up at that time. Now, if you're going to be buried, the average cost of a burial right now in the United States is right around $10,000. Now, that's not going to be anything fancy by any means, but we find it hard to believe that in most parts of the country, if you walk in with a $10,000 check, they're going to say no, tell you to walk out the door, and then you could just walk 2 blocks down the road to their competitors and give them that money. So chances are they're going to work with you on that. Just understand, it's not going to be a fancy funeral. It's going to be very simple just to keep the cost down. Now, most people we would be helping they're age 63 and female would be looking at probably anywhere between $10,000, $15,000, maybe $20,000, just depending on, how long they think they're going to live to the best of their knowledge. Maybe their family, lives into their hundreds or whatever. But, most people would be looking at maybe $10,000 to $15,000. And again, your financial kind of means are going to make a difference here too. A lot of the people we help are on a fixed or limited income, and they have to start with $10,000, and then we can always help them add more coverage later. Now, one thing we don't recommend with any of the plans, whether it's burial or cremation, is like over-insuring. Sometimes people will call up and say, hey, I want to get like $30,000 because I want to leave some money behind for my kids or my family or loved ones. And, we think this insurance really is best used for its intended purpose, final expenses. The reason is if you're on a fixed or limited income, when we start looking at higher amounts of coverage, sometimes that's challenging for folks. And we've had people in the past go, if I can't do $50,000, leave money behind for my kids, I'm not going to do anything at all. And what they've done is just condemn their children to pay for their burial and all the expenses when that does happen out of the blue. And chances are that's going to go on a credit card. 26% interest. It's really going to harm your family. So don't be stubborn. Don't say, if I can't do everything I want, I'm not going to do anything. That's ridiculous, most people would say. Get what you can afford, cover just your final expenses. And if you've got some extra funds and you want to get more coverage, we can certainly help you out with that. But yeah, we're just going to help you, be respectful of your dollars as well. Now, one thing we always recommend is first day coverage or benefits. And that's the only thing we help people with here at Funeral Funds of America. We do not recommend those plans with 2-year waiting periods. I will go into that in a moment. But yeah, what that first day coverage means is that if your policy were issued and approved today, then you died tomorrow, then the insurance company would have to mail that check for $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $20,000, $25,000, whatever it is. It's first day coverage. That's exactly what you want. Now, some people would say, well, Randy, I like the first day coverage, but I'm not in the best of health, and therefore I'm worried about qualifying, to which we would say, hey, your health is our concern, not your concern, at least when it comes to this insurance. And, that's why we work with so many different insurance companies. They all ask different health questions. They all have different underwriting requirements. And right now, we're getting right around 95% of the time, we're able to help people out with first day coverage or benefits, 95% of the time. Really, the only reason you wouldn't qualify is if you had some sort of significant medical issue going on, like maybe you had a terminal illness where you weren't going to live another 12 months, or you had dementia, or you're on dialysis, or in a hospital, or in a nursing home, something like that. If that were the case, we'd probably refer you out to a different insurance company. The other thing that seems to happen on a weekly basis is we get somebody that will call up and say, hey, we had a family member pass away this last week, and they didn't have insurance, and we don't have any money. So their body's down at the funeral home right now. So we need to get this insurance really quick so that we can get that money from the insurance company to give to the funeral home director. And we have to let them know there's no company in the United States that's going to offer a policy on a dead person. You actually have to be alive to qualify for this insurance. So it's just awful that somebody went and passed away and they didn't have this insurance. They knew they were going to die someday. They probably thought about getting this insurance and they were going to do it someday, and then they ran out of some days, and then today showed up and they're no longer here. And their families are now stuck with this burden, both financial and emotionally, trying to get this thing figured out. And what most families end up having to do is put this on their credit cards and, paying 26% interest, and they're paying on it years and years and years, when you should have just taken care of it so that your family wouldn't be harmed. So don't be that person that does that. Don't leave that terrible legacy behind, because every time your name pops up, people are going to go, good person, but boy, they really did a bad thing at the end. And, we're still paying for his funeral when he should have done that, or she. So yeah, just be responsible, and we can help you with the coverage. If you can't get everything you want, just start with what you can afford. We can always help you add more coverage later. Now, one thing we always recommend avoiding is those plans with 2-year waiting periods. And Colonial Penn, they're a fairly well-known company out there. I think it's just because they advertise on TV so much with that $9.95 plan. I think that thing's on the TV every 7 minutes, it seems. But yeah, that $9.95 plan, if you did not know this, that is a 2-year waiting period plan. Ouch. Yeah, you probably didn't know that. So yeah, but Colonial Penn's not the only one with those 2-year waiting period plans. Mutual of Omaha, their United of Omaha product, AIG, Gerber, gosh, just a host of other different companies. But yeah, some of these companies have done such an amazing job of convincing the American public that if you're over age 50, that the only thing you qualify for is a plan with a 2-year waiting period, to which we always say, don't believe such nonsense, because we help people with first day coverage all day long. Yes, sir, we do. Yeah, now our 63-year-old male is probably thinking, after watching that $9.95 commercial, probably thinking, you know what? I feel pretty young at age 63. I bet I could probably get $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, maybe even $50,000 for $9.95. Boy, I'm going to pull one over on Colonial Penn. And then they call Colonial Penn and talk with one of their agents, or they get online on their website like we've done for you here. and they see that a 63-year-old male, 1 unit of coverage is $9.95. That's only going to buy $1,000 worth of coverage. Now, $1,000 is kind of borderline where that's going to be enough in most parts of the country for a cremation. And it doesn't even matter because it's got a 2-year waiting period. It's not going to pay out for the first 2 years for any health or medical related cause of death. So you're already like underinsured, and then you throw another 2 years and, $1,000 isn't going to be worth $1,000 in 2 years just because of inflation. So yeah, you're starting just behind from the very first day. Now, a lot of people would say that, these companies out there that offer these really low teaser rates, they would say that they do that not so much to sell that plan and that coverage, but just to get your information in, thinking it's such a great deal. And then when they get you on the phone and you find out it's such a minuscule amount of coverage, then they upsell you to more significant coverage. It's more profitable for them. So we would never say that Colonial Penn does anything like that, although some people may, and I guess that's just something you'll have to formulate on your own end. But yeah, $1,000 at $9.95, that's doesn't kind of probably take care of what you want. Cremation certainly doesn't even do a burial. But yeah, so let's take a look. What we want to do is we want to find out about $5,000 worth of coverage. So, if 1 unit's $1,000, we're looking at right at 5 units here. So $5,000 on the nose. It's very unusual for Colonial Penn to have even numbers here because they sell per unit. It's just at age 63, it actually does work out to be $5,000. A lot of times it would be like 5,013 or 5,079, just depending on your age and coverage amount. So anyway, this one worked out great. Let's run this $5,000 as a first day coverage. Here we go. $5,000, male, age 63. We're gonna battle it out, see if we can get you better pricing. Again, this is $50 roughly for $5,000. Look at what we can do here. We can get like right around $25, right, for level coverage. Now, sometimes we're going to be faced with two companies that are fairly even or fairly close in pricing. And, if it's like 50 cents different, we might recommend going with a different insurance company. This would be one of the cases here. So in this case, we would definitely recommend Trinity Life. We work with them. We've got a great relationship with them. And if you look, it's like a 20-cent difference. But we get a lot more approvals with Trinity Life. And you can actually get a same-day approval over the phone. And they're just terrific to deal with, especially later on if you need to make policy adjustments or change beneficiaries or anything like that. So regardless, they're both $25-ish. So, but yeah, I mean, look at that. So yeah, really Colonial Penn for a 63-year-old male for $5,000, it's roughly 200% more expensive, right? So why would you ever get into a plan where it's going to be 200% more expensive from the very first day? You're going to have to overpay on that policy around $25 a month for the rest of your life and get stuck with a 2-year waiting period. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? I don't know. Because think about it. It's $25 a month times 12 months. That's $300 a year. If you live 10 years from 63 to 73, you will have overpaid. You'll have overpaid right around $3,000. And I tell you what, $3,000 is a good chunk of change. Why would you ever want to give that money to an insurance company when you can keep it in your own pocket and get first day coverage? Yeah, I don't know. You got to be a smart shopper. And if you're not a smart shopper, just reach out to us. We can help you be smart shoppers. Let's look at some of these other companies that may be out here. And you'll be able to see all these different insurance companies. Oh, here's one, like Lincoln Heritage. So, yeah, I mean, they're a fine company, I guess. But look at that pricing, almost $35. And, it's level coverage. So it's first day coverage. But that's like right about $10 more a month. That's $120 a year. And that would be after 10 years, that'd be an extra $1,200. So you got to ask yourself, how much do you value your $1,200 that you have in your bank? Because, a lot of people say, that's a pretty good paycheck for the insurance company that when you pass away, all they have to do is call 2 or 3 funeral homes and maybe do a couple other things. And, it's $1,200 extra they made. And it's maybe just for an hour or so of work. So, yeah, $1,200 an hour, that's pretty good pay. So we don't actually recommend that. What we actually recommend is get locked in at the lower pricing. And then what we have and what we offer on our website is a free funeral and estate planning guide. And you can just download that off our website and print it out. And then all you do is you just fill it out, complete it. You say who gets what and what goes where and what you want to happen after you're gone. And then you keep that with your insurance policy. And then when you pass away, your family member and loved ones have everything in one spot. And they will be both protected financially with the insurance policy, but also emotionally with the funeral and estate planning guide, because they won't have to worry about a thing. They'll just follow your wishes and just execute, what you'd wanted done and what you'd specified in the funeral and estate planning guide. And what a wonderful gift to leave behind. What a wonderful legacy. And your family will know that you not only love them in life, but you also love them in death. When you are no longer here, you are still protecting them, even though you are no longer here. What a wonderful legacy to leave behind. So go to funeralfunds.com. We've got a special quarters for our YouTube viewers, funeralfunds.com/YouTube, and you can get the most rates and best discounts. You can also call us at our toll-free number, 888-862-9456. And, if you've got an existing policy and you want to price shop it to make sure you got the best deal, or you just want to see about adding coverage to it, we can help you out with that. If you are looking for a brand new policy or just have questions about what might be most appropriate or what you qualify for, we can help you out with that. But we look forward to that day when we can get you the most amount of coverage for the least amount of money. And when that day comes, we will be blessed to help you with that. But until that day comes, you stay safe, you take care, you have a nice day. Bye-bye.